Your brother, your friend, back again for another installment. The best mortgage in America, NACA. Let's get it popping. The NACA is tuning in on me when it really should be paying attention to NACA. Come on, baby. NACA, there she is. NACA, America's best homeownership program. As you can see here, it says America's best mortgage, no down payment, no closing costs, points or fees, below market interest, below market fixed interest rate, perfect credit not required, i.e. no credit score. Start by signing up for your homebuyer workshop at the website. So, I want to just explain the NACA program. It stands for Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America, and it is a conventional loan, meaning that the down payment will amount to 20% of the purchase price of the home, and you will be getting a loan of 80% of the value of the purchase price of the home from either Citibank or Bank of America, who are partnered with NACA. So why is NACA basically the best mortgage there is in the game that exists in America? I want to start off with number one: no down payment. The largest hurdle for a lot of people, millennials, right, is affordability of the down payment. Some people, like living in LA, living in New York, living in Orange County, living in Florida, living in any major metropolitan city, they're paying rent in the amount of how much a mortgage would actually cost. Their problem is credit sometimes and down payment. But let's start off with the down payment. With the down payment, the best loan that I knew about was FHA, the Federal Housing Administration, which allows for a 3.5% down payment on a loan. Now, my pops, my research, my friends and family and teachers, they told me about, and when I say teachers, I mean books that I read, because I didn't have direct teachers. And family, the only person that really told me was like my pops. But I learned about the FHA loan, but you still have to put 3.5% down. 3.5% is a substantial amount of money to own or to save up in order to own a house, especially considering the fact that you still have to pay closing costs and other associated fees with purchasing a property. Personally, I use creative financing on my first deal in order to get the 3.5% down, but I went the 3.5% down route, and I asked my sellers to pay the closing costs, so I didn't have to pay the closing costs. So I used that route. But this mortgage is way better because why? You have no down payment, zero, zilch, nada. There's some down payment assistance programs where the down payment is added on top of the loan and it's no interest, and you have to pay it in the future down the line. You have to pay it off. But not with NACA, baby. You know I'm bringing you the best. My channel was about self-empowerment, baby. So this is giving you the game. This is showing you how to go from nothing to something, how to go from doubt to faith, how to go from war to peace, from chaos to order, baby. So no down payment. The next super cool thing is, well, people ask why. What's the catch? Let me take a couple of steps back. It is a nonprofit organization that gathers funding because of the Community Reinvestment Act. You can look that up. Also because of the predatory lending practices of Bank of America, Citigroup, all these big banks that actually led to the mass foreclosures, millions of foreclosures that happened in 2007, 2008, when I was about 17 or 18 in America, which led to a global recession. So because of those things, we have donor money, private money, to lead to the American dream through the NACA program. It's been around for 30 years. I know multiple people personally who have properties through the NACA program, so it's not a hoax. The next thing that's really important and makes it a great mortgage is no closing costs, points, or fees. So in order to basically close on a home, you have to get the title, the deed. You have to go to a title company which checks to make sure there's no liens, there are no encumbrances, basically it's to check that the person you're buying from, the seller, actually owns the property without anybody's name. It's just clear that no one can stake a claim on the property. So you need to do that. You need to do inspections. You need to do appraisal fees. You need to have, like I said, inspection fees, appraisal fees, origination fees of the loan. There's so many different types of fees that actually come into a closing cost, right? Dealing with escrow, paying them, so many different fees, right? But traditionally, the seller and the buyer split it. In a seller's market, the buyer has to pay for it. With NACA, you don't pay for it. It goes all paid for by NACA. Points are basically, in order to get a loan at a certain interest rate, you may have to pay certain points. In this case, you don't have to pay any points unless you want to pay points, which I would actually recommend. And I'm going to get into that in the next category, which is the below market interest rate. So this is the third reason why NACA is hands down, coming from your boy, coming from Mark Jones II at Inspirit Nutrition, OG, coming with the original knowledge, trying to share with you. This is the best hands down mortgage in America. Why? Because you get below market interest rates. Go to the NACA website and you'll be able to see, what's the website? It's NACA.com. Bam, right there. You'll be able to see how much the interest rate actually is, the current interest rate. It's always below the market interest rate. Interest rate is key when you're dealing with getting a home, because if the home costs $100,000, but the interest rate is 10%, 12%, 7%, your monthly payments and also how much you're actually paying in interest in the long term is going to be way more than the actual principal balance of $100,000. It may turn out to be something like almost $200,000 or upwards of $200,000. Whereas if you have a slower interest rate on that same $100,000 of say 3%, 3.75%, 3.65%, then you actually are in a scenario where you're paying way less money over time and also on a monthly basis. So that's another reason why NACA, N-A-C-A, NACA, para mi gente que habla español, tenemos aquí, también en español, el mejor programa para compradores y dueños de viviendas. Compra de casa, la mejor hipoteca en América. So, it is the best NACA, N-A-C-A, best mortgage in America. Please keep listening in and see how it can apply to you. All right. Next reason is I want to add, it's a sub reason to the below market interest rates. Something insane, something unprecedented, something amazing is that you can actually buy down the interest rate. That is an extra additional beauty of this mortgage, because in order to buy down the interest rate, you just have to pay 1% of the purchase price up front. So essentially it's kind of like paying for your interest early in advance. You have to decide if this works out for you and if in the long term you'll save money. But for a lot of people, it actually is really, really beneficial. If you plan on, I would just say, if you plan on staying in the house for more than 3 to 5 years, then it's beneficial to buy down the interest rate. So I'll give you an example. Say the house costs $100,000. Where do you find a $100,000 house, Mark? Well, I'm just giving an example. So $100,000 house, and in order to buy down the interest rate, which is currently 4%, let's say for example, you would have to put up 1% of the $100,000 house price. So what is 10% of $100,000? It is $10,000. So what is 1% of that? It's 1/10 of 10,000, which is $1,000. So in order to buy down 1/4% off the interest rate, which is 4%, I know I'm probably talking fast, but just rewind it and you'll get it. House price is $100,000. Interest rate is $4,000. I'll put up a graphic. And the buy down cost is at 1% of the home price, which is 1% of 100,000. 1% of 100,000 is 1,000. $1,000 will reduce your 4% interest rate to 3.75%. That may not seem significant. However, over time and on a monthly basis, your mortgage bill, your mortgage payment will be a lot less, and over time you pay a lot less in interest than you would if your mortgage was at a higher percentage. This is a cool thing. You can actually buy down your interest rate up to 10 points, or is it 10 points? Or yeah, 10 points. So you could put up upwards of 10% of the purchase price and buy down 10 quarter points, which would come out to I guess 4 points, 10, yeah, 25, oh no, 2.5 points. Come out to 2.5 points. I'm like doing math in my head. Yeah, 2.5 points. Luckily, I've been studying for the GRE and math, so my math is like pretty sharp now. So let me play it back. Say you put up $2,000 to buy down the interest rate. Now you're at 3.5%. $3,000, 3.25%. $4,000. Now you're at 3%. So let's double it up and triple it up and say you put down $10,000 to buy down the interest rate. Guess what? Baby, you've brought down your interest rate 2.5%, which will bring your interest rate down to 1.5%. That's unheard of. NACA is the place to go, baby. That's the place to be. Why? NACA will allow you to buy down your interest rate down to as low as 0.625%. It's actually illegal to get a 0% interest rate in America. So the lowest you can go is to I think that's like a 16th of a percentage. So you can get down to 0.0625%. That is unprecedented. It's insane. And how long will that last? It'll last you for 30 years for the entire mortgage. So for 30 years span, you'll be at 2% interest. You'll be at a 3% interest, or you could even get as low as 0.0625%. That is insane. But to make it even more incredible, the buy down money doesn't have to come out of your pocket. You can ask the seller to actually buy, put in closing costs, put money towards the closing costs, which can go towards buying down the interest rate. So that money of buying down the interest rate doesn't even have to come out of your pocket. It can come from the seller. It gets better. The government has a program that will actually match your money, I think up to 7% or up to 5% if you're low income, or if the house, I don't know if it's if the house is in a low income area, but I know that if you're low income, the government will actually match the money you put up to lower that interest rate in order to bring it even lower, baby. And it keeps getting better. I want to keep moving. Next thing is why NACA is the best mortgage there is in America. It's because no perfect credit score is required. In fact, no credit score is even required. But if you have a good credit score, that can help you and it'll help you move along. But say you have bankruptcies, or you have Chapter 13, or you have charge-offs, or you have negative things on your credit, they work with you on an individual basis. The mortgage counselor checks out, actually checks out what you did, why you missed your payments, and they listen to your story. So you can give them a breakdown. My mother died, this happened, that happened, and you can explain it, okay? So no perfect credit score is required. How do you get into this? How do you qualify? How do you start up? Start by signing up for a home buyer's workshop, baby. If you're in LA, actually I think this is national, the number, to call 256-867-6222. Call it. Or you can go to the website, www.naca.com, and get started. Let me tell you some more ways. This is a bonus video. We're already at 16 minutes it looks like. If you want to shut down the video, I've given enough of the reasons why this program is the best home buying program in America. But I'm about to give you all the extra game. This is gonna be the extra game for all mi gente that's been waiting when I haven't been putting out videos. Cause I went through some crazy stuff. I was going through trials and tribulations. Plus I was dealing with some other things that trying to get into grad school and things like that. So thank you for your patience and waiting. So I'm gonna give y'all some extra game. Why is this mortgage is so insanely amazing, this loan? Let me tell you why. As long as you have some type of income, whether it's Social Security, whether it's some type of permanent disability, whether it's self-employment, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's a regular job, 9 to 5, you can, my friend, purchase a home with no money out of your pocket. Let me take that back, not true. What they want you to do is budget for 3 to 6 months and show that you can save the difference between your rent and the new mortgage. So for example, if you're currently paying $1,000 for your rent and you want a house that is $1,400, then you would have to save that difference of $400 for 3 to 6 months and show them that you are capable of saving that money. A great thing about the program is there's no upper income limits. You can make $100,000, you can make $200,000, you can make $250,000 combined household income. It does not matter. The object of this program is to get you into a home, to get you the keys. It gets better, more game. Another dope thing about this program is they allow for rehabilitation. So say, for example, you find a house that's worth $200,000, but the house has been totally gutted, it's tore up, it's just falling apart. What you can do is get an additional loan on top of the regular $200,000 loan, say a $50,000, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. And what they can do is lower your interest a bit so that your payments will be the same as if you were just buying a regular home at $200,000, and they would add the $90,000 on, and you would contract and work with some contractors and take that $90,000 and rehabilitate, refurbish, renovate your entire house. And guess what? When you do that, now you have a brand new, basically, interior of your home queued up uniquely to your design, and that gives you an edge on the market. Why? Because one, the value now, the after repair value, after renovation value is going to shoot up. So instead of the house being worth $200,000, you may have a house that's worth $350,000 now because of the renovations that you put into it. So you can get an appraiser afterwards. Another great thing is you get an edge on the market, because those homes that are gutted, that are just totally horrible, they could be in a great neighborhood. Guess what? People are going to stray away from those. They're not going to want those. But with you in the NACA program, you can say, yo, that's perfect. It's in a good neighborhood. They got good schools. They got this, they got that. But it needs repair. It's all good, baby. NACA got my back. Why? Because I can use the renovation loan to fix everything up to my design. It just keeps getting better. During the period of time while the renovation is going on, you can get up to 6 months where you don't have to pay the mortgage because you're going through the renovations. It's unbelievable. It's an unprecedented, insane, amazing mortgage, best home buying program and mortgage loan there is in America, hands down. And it keeps getting better. I told you I was gonna give you guys the game. Let me give you more game. This one will cost you a little bit more money, but it'll be worth it, because in the end, usually when you put up more, you get more out. Our rewards in life are commensurate with, in exact proportion to, our service or what we put in to life. So if you put a little bit more, you'll get more out, right? So it gets better. You can buy duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes with the NACA program. Not only that, you can refinance out of the NACA loan. You can sell your home and get all the benefits and profit once it goes up in value. This is all allowed. So there's some other down payment assistance programs where if you purchase the home, then you have to live in it for 30 years. You do have to live in the NACA home as long as you have the mortgage and the loan underneath NACA. But if you were to refinance it out and go from that low interest rate to the standard market rates, then you can move out. Or if you were to sell the property and cash out, then you get to reap the proceeds. But other programs say you have to stay in the house for the rest of your life for 30 years, which I think is whack. Other programs as well don't allow you to get 2 units, 3 units, and 4 units. So here's an example. The dope thing about the 4 unit, 3 unit, and the 2 unit is you get the house no down payment. And not just that, if there's no down payment, you get to live in one side in a duplex and rent out the other, and the duplex may cover the majority of the mortgage. It gets better. If you get into the triplex, you get to live in one unit, rent out the other 2, and the other 2 could control and pay for the majority of the mortgage. Wait a minute, it gets even better. If you get the 4 unit, it's windy out here. Let me make sure my camera doesn't fall. Anybody who's out in LA, they know it's windy. If you can get the 4 unit, you can live in one, rent out the other 3, and you may be living rent free, baby. So imagine that. Down payment, paid for. Closing costs, paid for. Fees, points, paid for. And you living in your home that you own, that you've renovated to your liking, rent free, in Paraíso, in paradise. It's for you with the NACA loan. It is not a dream. It actually may be a dream, but it can be a reality. It's no hoax, it's no catch. There are a couple caveats, but no catches. Caveat is you can't already own a home. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a first time home buyer. That's not the case. It's just you can't already own a home when you purchase the NACA, a home with NACA loan. Another caveat is there's upper price limits based on where you are, and based on the type of home. So single family in LA, it's like 450,000 is the upper limit. A duplex, it has a certain upper limit, and it goes all the way up to the fourplex. However, if you are in low income to moderate income areas, there are no upper limits. So say you want to buy in Compton and the house is 600, 700,000. You want to buy in Inglewood, it's 600, 700,000. Any of those tracks, any of those little areas that they designate as target areas that are low to moderate income, if the house costs $1 million and you can afford it, you can buy it. So it's kind of a caveat, but not really. What else is there? That's pretty much it, man. This is the most incredible program I've ever heard of. I'll update you guys more when I get more information and experience, or if I learn anything else from it. But just remember, NACA, your brother, your friend, back again for another installment. Bless up.